Hey guys, Mad Science here, and welcome back to day number 9 of r/MaliciousCompliance. We're 2 days into the second week already, and it's gonna be a long one. Well, just the project in general is gonna be long, because it's 8 months long. Anyways, let's get into some stories. I am literally what I do here is I search through and find some stories. Ooh. Ex-girlfriend wants to cut off our electricity? No problem. I'm sorry about that. Hey, please tell me if this is inappropriate for the sub and I'll post it elsewhere. I was living with my girlfriend and a roommate and we split the cost of every bill evenly, even though each bill was in one person's name. Well, that was the idea, but I naively helped my girlfriend pay her part of the bills. I paid completely for most of them. The rent was in my name, the electricity in my girlfriend's, etc. Well, I eventually got tired of her crap. Arguments, smelling gerbils, not doing chores, and we broke up. It was messy. It took ages to move out, making sure to mooch every penny she could before leaving. When she left, I immediately started a new electricity account in my name. A week later, I got a letter of confirmation in the mail, but I also received the electricity bill for the last 3 months my ex was living with us. I opened it without thinking. We couldn't even pay it if we wanted to because the bill was in her name. I shot her a text. Yo, you got the electricity bill in the mail. It's $120, so come pick up 40 from each of us. Where's the other 40? We agreed I wouldn't pay bills after I moved out, as if she did before. You were still living here for the time period of the bill. This is bullshit. I'm not going to pay a thing. We had an agreement. Well, you can come over to get our part, or you can pay it alone. The way I see it, you can either bring the 120 to my place or have fun in the dark, lol. You got me there. At this point, I realized that she doesn't know I started my own account with the electricity provider. She thought that by refusing to pay, the provider would cut our lights. Good way to mooch another 40 from us, right? But that's not quite what happened. A few weeks later, I received another letter from the electricity company with her name on it. Probably a late payment warning. I sent her a text to tell her, and she responded, "Lol, why are you so desperate to talk to me? You know what you have to do." Smiley face. Another letter came in for her. This one was probably late fees. I guess I have to guess because I never opened them. I messaged her and she said, "I thought I told you to never talk to me again." As you wish, ma'am. More letters arrived, but from a new address. I googled the new sender's address and found that they were debt collectors. Scary stuff. It's too bad I couldn't say a word to her. Now, about 2 or 3 months later, I received a phone call from my ex, and I'm greeted by, "What the fuck? These people are calling my parents' house. I've got all these late fees. Debt collectors." I told her if she wants our part of the bill, she knows what to do. Realizing she had no other choice, she caved and came for the money. My roommate and I didn't give her a cent toward late fees, and I probably looked so fucking smug giving her my money for the last time. Edit. Lots of people are saying I shouldn't have given her a cent, as Shane eloquently put it. Not paying it would be a dick move. Way more satisfaction than letting someone else get screwed while you play by all the rules. Yeah, but how is she going to get her money? How is she supposed to get her money if she's not, mooching you for all you have? I will be playing this in front of the whole class. Well, Okay, go for it. Just go for it. I was talking to some friends from undergrad, and this story from my freshman year came up again. Having recently stumbled upon this subreddit from r/stories about Kevin, weirdly, what is that subreddit? I think this might belong. Second semester of my freshman year, I was taking a music theory course. The professor was very serious about her job, and this class was a bit of a weed out class for students who wanted to pursue a music education. I was taking it for fun. By the time the end of the semester rolled out, I got the feeling she didn't really like me much because I didn't pay attention in class, but still got A's on the homework, exams, playing tests. I played piano for a decade by this point, so she couldn't really punish me for anything since I wasn't disrupting the class, but was just a thorn in her side through lack of participation. Thank God that wasn't part of our grade. Our final project was to find a poem we liked and craft a song using the poem as the lyrics. As she passed out the requirement sheet, she announced that she would be playing these for the class. So we need to put in effort so that we don't feel embarrassed by what she says in front of everyone. About 30 people. She shoots a glance at me, the least involved student, as she says that, which I took as a challenge. I found a poem called A Minor Bird, and decided to craft my masterpiece in the key of E flat minor. The reasoning: 6 of the 7 notes are lowered half a step, so it's not a matter of thinking everything I see is lowered. It's everything but one note is lowered, which is fairly hard to keep track of while sight reading something that utilizes both hands on the piano, where we were to hand them in at the beginning of class, and she would go through the stack and play them without practicing first. It's a freshman level class. How hard could it be? I spent weeks working on this because I wanted to make sure it was both well written and an absolute bitch to play. Oh yes. I had upperclassmen take a look at it to make sure everything was labeled correctly, and they told me I was the most magnificent bastard ever because this professor had irked most of the students in the department who had taken her class. Then the day comes, we all turn our papers in, and I'm visibly excited by everything. The professor comes in and goes full Dolores Umbridge. I certainly hope everyone met the requirements and put care into their work. If not, we'll soon find out. Goes to the piano and pulls the first paper off the stack and makes some comments about it that aren't negative but are a bit goading regarding the amount of effort it seemed to take to write it. She apparently pulls mine up about 2/3 of the way, sits down to play it, and stops at the first chord. She looks around, makes eye contact with me, and straight up glares before regaining her composure and plunking through my piece. There's several chords, then make a nice crunch before she cracks herself. That damn not flat note tripped her up every time. And it sounds like whoever wrote this piece did a shit job because of how it sounded. At the end, the meek international student, who has perfect pitch, raises a hand and goes, "Excuse me, Dr. Music Instructor, that piece just played. It has 6 flats in the key." "Yes, Professor." "Yes, it did. I didn't quite expect that." Student: "You didn't play all 6 flats. It didn't sound." Professor turns, glares at me, and goes, No, I did not. I got a 9% because she marked the chord label incorrect. We went back in and showed her that she missed the not flat note in the chord, and that it was labeled correctly. Got it changed to 100%. TLDR, music professor threatened to play our pieces in front of us so we could work harder on it. I wrote something she couldn't play. I have the music played by Finale Notepad and have made an account just to upload it here. Oh, we can actually listen to it. We can actually listen to it. Huh. Okay. So we can actually go and listen to the music if we want to, but I can't really do that now. Now. Okay. We're gonna move on and... Ooh. Let's do this food one. Classmate is mad I'm forcing her to eat ethnic food. Go eat a loaf of bread. This happened about a year ago now, when I was in high school. My calculus class was very chill. About 20 kids who are all friendly with each other. A laid-back but enthusiastic teacher and a light enough workload that we could afford to goof off in class, but still learn and do well. At some point in the year, I really got into cooking. It was my stress reliever. My family couldn't possibly eat the amount of food I was making. So I started bringing it into school and hosting Friday parties in my calc class. With my teacher's approval, of course. Smart choice. Always get the approval of the teacher if you're going to be nice. And bring in food for them. Now, I'm Vietnamese. And I live in a predominantly white town. This is only important because it meant that most kids from town only ate American or European foods and weren't used to eating other ethnic foods. Last year, around Lunar New Year, I wanted to bring in some Vietnamese foods to celebrate. It was a very important time of year for my family. I ended up making a bunch of badalon, a steamed layer cake, and a traditional Vietnamese dessert. Some of my friends from class found out I was going to bring in a traditional dish and brought in their own traditional dishes from their own cultures, whether they celebrated Lunar New Year or not. We had different Indian, Korean, Filipino, and Spanish desserts. It was great, and I was really excited that my friends wanted to celebrate with me. Apparently, this was an issue for one girl in my class. I would say bandalon is an acquired taste, so when not a lot of people ate it, I wasn't offended. I knew not everybody would like it. There was lots of other foods anyways. During our lunch period, one of my friends, who wasn't in our class, but knew I brought food in, overheard a girl from my class complaining about the food while on the lunch line. Apparently she was saying negative things about how I forced everyone to eat weird Chinese foods. Later that day, I texted her just saying I heard she didn't like the food and wanted to know why. I don't really care when people don't like the food. I make it for myself and bring it in when I have extra anyways. But her calling it weird Chinese foods when she knows I'm Vietnamese didn't sit right with me. Well, she texted me back that it was rude of me to bring in weird ethnic foods that nobody would have liked except for me, and said I should know better since most of the class was white. Oh great, we got a racist student. Oh, that was so bad it made me burp while talking, which is a weird skill that I have. I told her that I bring in food to share because I feel like it and that I don't have an obligation to cater to her tastes. If she has an issue with it, she literally does not have to eat it, and other people can bring in food too. So if she wanted to, she could bring in something more to her tastes. After that, she just told me that I shouldn't bring in ethnic and foreign foods and stick with American foods because we're in America. Excuse me, like, how much would you want about if I brought in jambalaya, which originated in Louisiana? She would call it a weird foreign food. Fine. If she only wants to eat American foods, then she can eat American foods. Next week, I brought in a bunch of olive oil, a Dutch donut, and started passing them out at the beginning of class. When I got to her desk, I pulled out a loaf of Wonder Bread and plopped it on her desk. Sorry, but these are Dutch. Too ethnic. Here you go. All American cuisine. Later, she texted me asking what the fuck my problem was. So I told her that almost every single food I brought in this year was ethnic. And that pissed me off that she had an issue that when it wasn't European. She's entitled to not liking Asian foods, but if you're going to complain about it being ethnic, then you better have that same attitude when the ethnic food is white. Especially don't call another person's culture weird. She didn't complain about the food again. Also, before anyone comments, white bread isn't the only American cuisine out there. There's a short list of what I've enjoyed making: tater tots, jambalaya, fried chicken, many types of pies, s'mores, and Philly cheesesteaks. America is a very diverse place that is reflected in its food. Happy eating. Oh, that's just satisfying to hear. It's just like, you want to eat American food? Loaf of bread for you. It's just perfect. It's just like, you want to eat American food? Here's a loaf of bread. Enjoy. And with that, I'm going to be ending this episode here. Don't forget to subscribe to the main channel and this channel as well. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. A ding, a ding. I'm Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist